Please do it. Please do it.
Please do what you're asked. Please.
Back up, Lacey. Do what they say. Back up.
Get on your face. Get on your face right now. Back up. Let me keep your hands where we can see them. Keep your hands where we can see them. Go all the way down. Whoa, let me see. Don't do it.
Umbrella. She's up. Whole nother level of shit you can't even understand.
What is good, my people? We are live back again with another episode of The Forecast. So, out in Chicago, there was a young brother by the name of Quintonio Legrier, who happened to be a 19-year-old mentally ill young brother. Now, he ended up calling the police for help. He called them a number of times for help, but they didn't come out until his father actually called. Now, when the police finally did show up, not only did they end up killing Quintonio Legrier, they also ended up killing another woman by the name of Bettie Jones. Now, let's see what led from somebody calling the police for help to two people ended up getting murdered.
New video tonight and questions about a deadly shooting by Chicago police. As CBS 2's Anne Lemonnier reports, the officer who said Quintonio Legrier swung a bat at him didn't make that claim until 2 days later.
This newly released city street camera video shows the police van Officer Robert Rialmo and his partner were in heading to the home of Quintonio Legrier. This video is from a neighbor's home. It shows police going to Legrier's apartment building moments after he and neighbor Bettie Jones were shot by Rialmo. Now, these police reports show Rialmo had different accounts of what happened that night. Attorney Vasilios Foutris is the attorney for Legrier's estate.
It indicates to me that this is an after-the-fact justification in order to justify what he did to try to prevent himself from being prosecuted for killing an unarmed kid.
About an hour and a half after the shooting, Rialmo told detectives Legrier had an aluminum baseball bat in his hands, which were raised above his head. Re-interviewed 2 days later, Rialmo mentioned things he never said in the first report. Police officer Rialmo heard someone charging down the stairs from the second floor, referring to Legrier, adding Quintonio Legrier swung the baseball bat at police officer Rialmo with an overhand downward swing and then a half backward swing.
His partner specifically says he never saw Quintonio swing the bat.
Rialmo's attorney, Joel Brodsky, says there are not two different accounts, but only one, and an explanation.
Basically, you're saying there is no second version.
It's not a second version. You see initial interviews just trying to get basic facts, and secondary, more thorough interviews, kind of expanding and filling out the story with the additional details. It doesn't surprise me. I mean, that's actually typical.
Legrier's mother had this to say about the revelation in the police reports.
It was obvious to me that they had something to cover up. And for him to change his story 2 days later, if someone tried to strike you with a bat, that would be like one of the first things you would say.
Legrier's mother also says she thanks Rialmo's partner for saying in the second interview he never saw her son swing the bat at Rialmo. The report says Rialmo's partner was looking down as he backed down the stairs at that time.
So, police officer Robert Rialmo originally said that Quintonio Legrier had the bat above his head, and then 2 days later, as he's filling out the details, he said he heard somebody charging down the stairs, and then Quintonio started swinging at him with the bat. And of course, he feared for his life, so he had no other choice but to shoot and kill Quintonio Legrier. Now, when they asked his partner, he said he didn't see him swing a bat because he was looking down at the time. But if he's swinging the bat at somebody, how long are you looking down? And why are you looking down as a police officer if somebody is attacking your partner with an aluminum bat? Especially to the point where he feels like he has to shoot him. But the problem with that story is it still doesn't account for how Bettie Jones was shot, an innocent bystander. all of the evidence in this case does not point towards this officer's story. It goes against this officer's story. You have eyewitnesses whose accounts are different from the officers and whose actually does match the evidence.
Also making news tonight, we now know the federal investigation into the Chicago Police Department will include this weekend's shooting that left 2 people dead. CBS 2's Derek Blakely is live in the newsroom with more on this story. Derek.
Rob, an eyewitness account of the police shooting that claimed the lives of those 2 West Garfield Park residents is raising new questions tonight about what caused police to open fire. Marco Mercado lives just next door to the scene of the fatal shootings, and this is what he says he saw early Saturday around 4:30 a.m. from his living room window. The officer was standing here when he opened fire.
Yeah, this are 7 shots.
7 shots?
7, you know.
He wasn't at the door, he was right here.
Yeah, right here.
Shots fired from the sidewalk or parkway, and that account seems to fit with other information gathered by the Jones family attorney, Sam Adam Jr.
Shell casings that were shot, many were found on the sidewalk area and near the street, and so which suggests to me that the gunfire came from a substantial distance away, that no police officer's life was in danger at the time.
The father of 19-year-old Quintonio Legrier summoned police when the NIU student threatened his dad with a baseball bat. The father asked downstairs neighbor Bettie Jones to open the door for police. But it's still unclear what police saw in this vestibule that led to the deadly gunfire.
This is simply more than an accident. This is something that should have never happened.
Meantime, Jones' 4 daughters continue to try to come to grips with the loss of their mother, a 55-year-old who worked at a bakery and as a crossing guard and doted on her kids.
They took my mommy from me. She was everything. She meant the world to me. She would have broke her neck to make sure all her kids was happy.
The Jones family's legal team is still gathering information and especially wants to see the IPRA report on the shooting, but it fully expects to file a wrongful death lawsuit against police and the city. Meantime, an attorney for 19-year-old Quintonio Legrier tells CBS 2 he filed suit today in connection with Legrier's death.
So not only do you have an eyewitness saying they saw Officer Robert Rialmo shooting from the sidewalk, you have bullets on the sidewalk, you have all kinds of evidence that this man was just standing on the sidewalk shooting the house up at whoever came to the doorway. Now here you have this woman, Bettie Jones, who was just opening the door like the police asked, and she ended up getting shot up along with Quintonio Legrier. This woman didn't have anything to do at all with the situation. Yet, despite being an innocent bystander, she still gets the same results as anybody else. Now, Bettie Jones and her family don't get justice. Quintonio and his family, who actually called for help, don't get justice. Because no matter how different the Officer Robert Rialmo's story was from the evidence in the eyewitness accounts, they still said it was insufficient evidence and didn't charge him.
Well, it's the first big decision out of the new state's attorney's office to not charge Chicago police officer Robert Rialmo, who shot and killed Quintonio Legrier and his unarmed neighbor, Bettie Jones, the day after Christmas back in 2015. Her family reacted to the news today, and CBS 2's Brad Edwards was there.
We will not stop fighting to hold her, Officer Rialmo, City of Chicago, accountable for this tragic death.
Her daughter couldn't finish her statement. Her mother, Bettie Jones, was killed hours after hosting family Christmas in 2015. Shot once, accidentally, by Officer Robert Rialmo, who responded to a call at her neighbor's.
He took a great woman from us that we can't never get back. Only thing we have is memories.
The state's attorney said it found insufficient evidence of criminal wrongdoing by Officer Robert Rialmo. The family's attorney's investigation, even citing an eyewitness in a CBS 2 News report. An investigation raises questions, they say, to the veracity of Rialmo's narrative.
That is damning evidence, objective evidence. Why isn't that enough? Let a jury decide. Present the case, let a jury decide.
Officer Rialmo arrived that day after a distress call from the family of Quintonio Legrier, who was agitated and had a bat. His mother today.
He called for help to get shot. I don't understand that. I have no words for that. And yet this cop is not going to jail. He's still on the force. I don't understand the society that we live in today.
And this was the first major decision out of new state's attorneys Kim Foxx's office. Though Fox did not make the decision, her first assistant decided. She recused herself because she worked for the firm, now representing the victim, Ms. Jones's family. Rob and Erica.
So is the prosecutor's office even saying anything about the case at this point?
Well, of course, with this type of decision, we had many questions asked for comment, nothing beyond the statement they sent out.
Now, this Officer Robert Rialmo, who killed a mentally ill 19-year-old young brother who called the police for help, and an innocent bystander, and said that Quintonio attacked him with a baseball bat swinging twice that his partner didn't even see happen, that eyewitnesses didn't see happen. And not only will he not be charged, but he was able to keep his job. Then to add insult to injury, Robert Rialmo sued Quintonio Legrier's estate because he was forced to shoot and kill him.
This counterclaim against the estate of Quintonio Legrier, Officer Robert Rialmo says he feared Legrier was going to kill him. Rialmo says he had no choice but to shoot Legrier. Rialmo also says he never saw neighbor Bettie Jones. She was blocked from view by a bat-wielding Legrier.
Quintonio Legrier forced him to take both Legrier's life and the life of an innocent person, Bettie Jones. That's what's causing him the distress.
Legrier family attorney Vasilios Foutris.
If he's such a delicate flower, he shouldn't be in the police department.
So your contention is if you sign up for police work, you sign up for a situation like that?
You should be prepared to handle something like this, and if you're not prepared to handle a situation like this, get off the police force.
The officer's counterclaim seeks between $50,000 and $10 million from the teen's estate on the grounds of emotional distress.
First you shoot him, then you sue him. Is that the new standard for the Chicago Police Department?
Why do you say the counterclaim is nonsense?
We've gotten photographs, we've gotten video. Nothing at all substantiates anything that's in that counterclaim. What you see in the counterclaim is pure fantasy.
All of the forensics say that their version of the events is the fantasy.
Well, reached by phone today, Quintonio Legrier's mother says her son was the victim, not Officer Rialmo. She calls the counterclaim disrespectful in her words, adding her son called for help 3 times and wouldn't have attacked the person who came to help. Instead, she says the person who was sworn to protect her son killed him.
So not only can he shoot this young brother, but then turns around and sues him for emotional distress for shooting him. Now the sick part is we live in a society that allows us to be physically harmed. And not only that, they allow them to then turn around and sue us for them physically harming us. Just like that case where this 27-year-old man punched this 14-year-old kid in the face after he actually started the confrontation by calling him nigga and just instigating it. Now, not only did the police decide not to charge him, he then turned around and sued the kid after he punched the kid in the face. Now, if these kind of things don't make our people put aside those petty differences, petty beliefs, and start focusing on things like group economics and self-education, educating our own children, building our own systems, and most importantly, protecting ourselves in those systems that we build. It's not like these kind of stories are anything new, and that's the problem. And if anything, things have improved. It's been hundreds of years and we still saying the same thing. And I know that we can all agree that we want a safe future for our kids along with prosperity. And we want justice and we want fairness for them. And we can all agree we want these kind of things to stop happening to our people. So let's build off of that to do what we have to do instead of arguing about things that we disagree about. Because if we don't, situations like Quintonio Legrier, Bettie Jones, and neither one of them getting any kind of justice will keep happening. And if we don't build a nation, we'll still be arguing to be a part of this nation in another 200 years.
Chicago Emergency, Brown.
Yeah, I need an officer at 4710 West Erie Street.
47 what?
4710 West Erie Street.
Okay, what's wrong?
I just need an officer over there, okay?
No, it don't work like that. What's your emergency?
I need to talk to an officer.
Okay, what's wrong?
I need to talk to an officer.
Okay, you can talk to an officer over the phone. I can connect you to one if you want.
Someone's threatening my life.
Is the person there with you now?
Yes.
Are you in a house or apartment?
I'm in a house.
And your name?
Q.
What's the last name?
Could you just say an officer?
Yeah, when you answer the question.
There's an emergency. Can you send an officer?
Yeah, as soon as you answer these questions. What's your last name?
There's an emergency.
Okay, if you can't answer the questions, I'm going to hang up.
I need the police.
Terminate the call.
December 26, 2015, 4 hours, 20 minutes, and 9 seconds.
Chicago Emergency, Robin.
Hello, are you sending the police to my location?
Where's your location?
4710 West Erie.
4710 West Erie. Is that a house, apartment?
4710 West Erie. Can you please send the police?
Is it a house, apartment?
It's a house. Can you please send the police?
Your name?
Can you please send the police?
After you tell me what's going on, what's your name?
Can you please send the police?
December 26, 2015, 4 hours, 21 minutes, and 0 seconds.
Chicago Emergency, Buckland.
Can you please send the police?
To where?
4710 West Erie Street.
What's wrong?
Have an emergency.
I need to know what's wrong.
Someone's threatening my life.
Who? Where are they now?
They're at the house.
What's your name?
Q.
Where are you going to be, Q?
Are you going to send the police already? Yeah, it's not going to play.
Are you at the house, Q?
Get play with shit. I'm trying to kill you.
Are you at the house?
Anybody.
Hello?
What's wrong with you?
Hello? Do you need the police or no? Hello?
Are you going to send the police or not?
You going to answer my question?
Why are you talking to me?
I'm talking to you. If you can't answer the questions, how do you expect me to assist you?
I already told you I'm at the house.
No, you did not. You told me that person was at the house.
So.
Any weapons involved? Any weapons involved?
No.
Where are you going to be?
So stop fucking playing with me.
Hello?
Stop fucking playing with me.
Are you talking to me or someone else? Because my name ain't Folk.
December 26, 2015, 4 hours, 24 minutes, and 38 seconds.
Hey. Chicago Jackson.
Yeah, my son had a freaking room. I need an officer. 4710 West Erie. 2017 was Erie. I need police assistance.
Now, what happened?
My son is attempting to break inside my bedroom door and he's asleep. I don't know
Is it a house or an apartment?
A house, second floor.
You're on the second floor?
Yes.
All right. Does he carry any weapons that you're aware of?
He's got a baseball bat in his hand right now.
Has he been? How old is he?
19.
How has he been drinking?
No, not to my knowledge.
What's your name, sir?
Quintonio Legrier.
Okay, watch for the police.
Thank you.
Let me just begin with you talking a little bit more about your son. I know Quintonio, I understand he ran a marathon for charity, helping raise money for children in Africa. He was an honors engineering student in college. Can you help us get to know him a little bit more?
At this point, Ms. Brooke, he was everything you just spoke of and more. He was a kind, generous son who always contribute nothing but the utmost respect for all people.
Can you now take me back to Saturday? You were the one who called police on your son.
Yes.
Can you first just tell me why?
I heard a loud bang at my bedroom door, and I can only assume it was my son because only him and I was in the house. And when I thought about it, I was asleep. When I woke up and I thought about it, after a second banging on the door, I received a phone and called the police department because I wasn't equipped with being able to understand how to deal with my angry son at that time, because I figured the police would know better how to handle an angry situation that my teenage son was going through.
Without, divulging personal information, when you talk about, your son was angry, you told the Chicago Sun-Times that he had some anger issues, emotional problems. When you, just knowing that, as you would, as a father would know about his son, did you relay that when you called 911?
At this point, I can't remember what I said exactly, and I know that when the call was made, I had just been awoken from a sleep, so I'm not sure exactly what I said.
And then police arrive, and what happened?
I heard a noise, which was a voice saying, "Whoa, whoa, whoa," to my knowledge. I can't accurately remember, but it was along those lines. And I proceeded down the staircase from my apartment on the second level. And as I got a quarter of the way down the staircase, I heard gunshots. I stopped at that point in time because I didn't know for sure where those shots were coming from. And after that, the gunshot stopped. I proceeded further down the stairs, displaying my hands, indicating that I'm sorry, Miss Brooke.
No, I'm
indicating
sorry.
I'm so sorry, give me 1 second. Indicating that I was the father and I was the one that called. And when I got to the bottom of the steps, I noticed the lower torso at first of someone in a stance in the grass. I did not know clearly if he was an officer or who he might have been. And as I got to the bottom of the stairs on the landing, I recognized someone standing there, dark hair, light skin, Spanish or perhaps Caucasian race. And I noticed the gesture. I can't believe it. I thought he was coming at me with that bat. F, the word F, no, no, twice was yelled. I proceeded to look to my right, and I saw my son laying there. And I saw his legs, and he was approximately 3 feet inside Miss Jones's doorway. And I wanted to reach down and grab him, but I wasn't trained in CPR or anything, so I didn't know exactly what to do except call out to him to let him know that I was there. Because my son, please forgive me, Miss Brooks. My son was laying there, and he was still alive and moving. And no one at all assisted him at any time while he was there. And at which point I looked back and saw Miss Jones laying there. And once again, yelled, screamed as loud as I can. Someone get an ambulance. Someone get someone to help my son. That's all I can think to say.
The chief of police at the University of Nevada, Reno apologized for an officer who dressed up as Colin Kaepernick for Halloween and mocked the 49ers QB's refusal to stand for the national anthem last season. The officer was dressed in a wig, painted on beard, false nose, a mocked-up jersey, and sign that says, "We'll stand for food." UNR spokeswoman Carrie Garcia said the officer's costume is inappropriate, but no action will be taken against the officer because there's no disciplinary policy that addresses the situation. By the way, Kaepernick played his college ball at the University of Nevada, Reno.
Okay, the next two slides will depict a cell phone video that was actually captured by two witnesses who were on Harrison Avenue during the incident. As the officers encountered the individual at 3315 Harrison, they initially gave him commands to go to his knees, which he initially complied. They also gave him additional commands to lie flat on the ground. The individual begins to go to the ground, then raises up and retrieves a firearm from his waistband. The three officers that you see in the slide here, all three engaged the individual, striking him multiple times. Now the next slide, we'll play it live for you, and then we'll play it so we'll loop it a couple of times so you'll get a closer depiction of what occurred. So go ahead, Mike.
Please do it. Please do it. Please do what you're asked. Please. Back up, Lacey. Do what they say. Back up.
It's also to be noted that there were several other officers that were on the scene. Those three officers that had the vantage point to see him directly, they were the three officers that engaged the individual. As you can see, as he initially starts to go to the ground, he raises up with his right hand, reaches to his waistband. You can see the reaction of the officers. They fire multiple rounds, striking the individual. One more time.